So the Oregon-Al-Qaeda standoff is came to an abrupt end. It's not over. It's not completely over as of this tape. We go to tape. So these couple of the yahoos, including Ammon Bundy, or you say Ammon. Ammon. Tomato. They got the cops. We waited from. They were going to a meeting in another city about 45 miles away from the sanctuary where they're holed up at, and so the cops pulled them over. They're going to arrest them. One guy, this guy, remember this guy?
If they come here and try to arrest you, they point a gun at you, they try to put cuffs on you, how far are you willing to take this?
Well, don't point a gun at me. You don't point a gun at somebody unless you're going to shoot them. That's the first thing your thought is, don't point guns at people. And so I'm telling them right now, don't point guns at me.
So you're prepared to die, better dead than in a cell?
Absolutely. Dude, would you like to be in a cell?
Well, your wish is granted,
Nobody
sir.
Wants to live their life in a cell.
So that guy, according to preliminary reports, when they were being pulled over, decided to gun it, and he wiped out into a snowbank, and his tires were still spinning, and he hopped out of his truck with a gun, and they killed him.
Oh.
After charging directly at the police.
Did he?
Yeah.
He charged directly at the police with his gun or with the car?
Oh, after he jumped out of the car after the crash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was going out.
So he was, so...
You don't get nice blankets in prison like he's got in that picture.
No, he was not. He did not want to go to jail, that guy. Wow. He did not want to go to jail. By the way, that guy, the way he made his living... Are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
He made his living off the government. What do you mean, Jimmy?
What?
He had a ranch where he had something like 19 foster kids. And so the government pays you something like $42 a day per kid.
Right.
And so he had a ranch, and they did so he had free labor.
He was ranching children.
Children. So he's doing under the guise of I'm helping kids.
What? And to be fair, free-range children are the tastiest.
Yes.
So they are. And so they took his kids away when he did this. And so he had talked about this to other news people about how they took he doesn't have a way to make a living anymore.
Yeah, that's
how
his
he
response.
was making a living.
It wasn't, I miss my kids.
Yeah.
It was, wait, how do I make my money?
Yeah, how do I make... Yeah. So anyway, so that guy is dead now. And
Wait, but Jimmy, can I don't understand. Maybe someone can explain this to me. And this is a real question.
This is a genuine question, Frank.
How can you have a siege at a place and still get to go on road trips and still get to go to the store and all this stuff? I've never really understood how that works.
They
Can
get
I answer
mail.
that question?
They get electricity.
Let me answer it. They're white.
They're white.
Okay,
and they
good.
wear cowboy hats. They don't have afros or dreadlocks.
Look, basically after Ruby Ridge and after Waco, the FBI and the ATF really got smart about this, and they went, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it for
bad
things
PR
to go crazy, to erupt in violence. So things have a tendency to peter out. We don't even have to block them in here. Let them have free range. Let it go, and it'll eventually. And for the most part, it is. They've been proven right. That's what happened at the Bundy Ranch.
So these guys have been going into town stirring stuff up.
Right.
And that's so the sheriff at some point had to do something. You can't hey, if you want to have this thing, we'll let it peter up, but you can't keep coming into our cities and stirring stuff up, stirring trouble up, right, and denouncing the law right in our face, right?
And that's the thing, is that the locals, the sheriff included, and by the way, these are all sovereign citizens who think that the sheriff is the ultimate authority. The sheriff is you need to go.
Yes.
The local judge, the local magistrate is you need to go. It is not the FBI, the magical federal government that they're all worried about who's we want to get you out of here. It's the locals who are we didn't ask you here. Get out.
So here is that sheriff.
I'm disappointed that a traffic stop yesterday that was supposed to bring peaceful resolution to this ended badly. Some of these folks have spent a lot of time in town trying to stir some issues within the community. If it was as simple as just waiting out some folks down there to get out of some buildings, we could have waited a lot longer. But this has been tearing our community apart. It's time for everybody in this illegal occupation to move on.
So that sheriff looked actually like he was busted up about it. This is how you want
Well,
a police officer to go ahead.
Police, it's always really upsetting when they have to kill an armed person. You know.
By the way, I look at this the other way, which is, all these guys, these militia guys, they wanted to go out in a blaze of glory.
I think so. I think that guy did.
Miraculous that they arrested a bunch of these guys and only one guy got killed.
I agree.
And it is a credit to them that they managed to
the
get that
officers.
done. Yeah.
And so it's nice to see when a cop is upset that they actually had to kill someone or someone got killed and they didn't want it to happen that way. And so you just wish, like, wow, wouldn't it be great if all the cops acted like this guy? Wouldn't it be great? Hey, we want to first try really hard to end this peacefully. That seemed to be his overwhelming goal, was if we could end this peacefully. That doesn't seem to be the rest of the police force that in the country. That doesn't seem to be the culture. The culture is, let's end this quickly. Let's end this as fast as we can. I'll escalate as soon as I can too. It's never de-escalate. It's never retreat. It's never like this. And it's only like this because this is happening in a rural place with white guys with cowboy hats that look just like the cops. That's the only reason so they used to act like this all the time. And then the drug war happened. And then the drug war was, screw the citizens. The citizens are the enemy, and we got to get in and we're the good guys who have to now put on masks and break into your house at 4 o'clock in the morning because you might flush drugs down the toilet, and we got to stop drugs. So that all stopped. So this is how cops used to be. That's how cops used to be in America. They used to try to be peaceful. Maybe I'm romanticizing the past a little bit.
I don't know if the thing that I always use to gauge how cops used to be is the TV show Dragnet with Jack Webb, which had, and I'm a huge fan of it. I've seen every episode, and there were frequent episodes where Jack Webb lectured other policemen about how using a firearm is your last resort, and being violent is not the way a policeman should act. So I think there was that kind of sense at some point.
Well,
with the police.
You know what? And cops said that was. As far as TV shows went, that was a pretty accurate representation of how policing was supposed to happen back then. That's what I heard from cops anyway. But so
Which was really boring.
So I think yes, cop
work is supposed to be really boring.
My dad was a policeman for 30 years. He never once used his gun, and that was in Chicago. Okay, so
look. I think this more has to. I think that this has to do with the FBI and the ATF having been through Waco, having been through Ruby Ridge, and them going, "This is how we're going to handle this."
I agree with you,
and I don't think it has anything to do with local policing. I do think that this sheriff handled it very well, but I don't think it has to do with the broader problem of policing.
No, I'm just saying
America.
this is how it used to be. Isn't it amazing that this is how we're getting a glimpse?
This should be a model.
This should be the model of how policing is, but it's only the exception because of the bad experiences that we've had with these kind of situations when we talk about Ruby Ridge and Waco.
If it had been the Black Panthers who had taken over that sanctuary, that cop would have been explaining to people why a small nuclear device was necessary.
Yes.
Which essentially is what happened in Philadelphia in the 1980s.
That's exactly what happened in Philadelphia. They dropped a bomb on an apartment building that they thought some bad black guys were in. So they just bombed the place.
Yeah.